Mikel Arteta has finally cracked the code. Arsenal are the reigning champions of England, ending an agonising 22-year drought to hoist the Premier League trophy into the North London sky. The Emirates is a theatre of euphoria, stacked with historic wins and an elite squad seemingly positioned to dominate the next decade of European football. But within all of this celebration, there is complexity. Behind the scenes, a quiet friction is brewing. Captain Martin Ødegaard has spent the last 2 seasons battling recurring injuries, missing a staggering 45 games for club and country. The Champions League final shootout, heartbreak, against Paris Saint-Germain exposed a lack of ruthless depth in high-stakes matches. Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard's fluctuations on the left wing have left Arteta demanding an immediate elite upgrade. Arsenal aren't resting on their laurels. They are aggressively hunting for the missing tactical puzzle pieces. In this deep dive, we will cover 1. Sandro Tonali's explosive Arsenal declaration and Newcastle's rebuild. 2. The Morgan Rogers project, the £80 million PFA Kingpin 3. The Morgan Gibbs-White blindside, the tactical dilemma. 4. The final judgment, how this changes the Premier League. Stay until the very end of this breakdown to fully understand how these 3 seismic moves interconnect and reshape Arsenal's tactical blueprint. The source and fact. The Telegraph and the Times have confirmed that Sandro Tonali is closer than ever to a sensational move to the Emirates Stadium. This comes directly on the heels of reports from The Athletic, indicating that Newcastle United have actively identified AS Monaco's Lamine Camara as his direct replacement. Newcastle, facing the financial realities of a massive summer rebuild under Eddie Howe, have placed a £100 million asking price on the Italian superstar, who recently led them to a Carabao Cup triumph. The deep dive. My analysis here is that Sandro Tonali represents the ultimate hybrid weapon for Mikel Arteta's complex system. For a long time, managers had to choose between a rigid, defensive anchor, a true number 6, or a creative, roaming playmaker, a true number 8. Tonali completely shatters this dual dilemma. He offers the defensive bite and spatial awareness required to protect a backline, combined with the progressive passing metrics to unlock low blocks. By targeting Tonali, Arteta is manufacturing a psychological shift within the squad. He is moving away from the beautiful but fragile midfield archetype of old and ushering in a culture of pure elite tactical pragmatism. Newcastle are being forced to sacrifice a foundational pillar to fund a wider squad evolution, and Arsenal are perfectly positioned to exploit it. With the defensive and transitional phases of the midfield addressed, Arteta has simultaneously turned his focus toward an explosive, attacking catalyst. The source and fact. According to Goal in the Sun, Arsenal have made Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers their primary statement target for the summer window. Rogers, the reigning PFA Young Player of the Year, fresh off leading Aston Villa to a Europa League final victory, has publicly discussed the Arsenal transfer links, openly declaring his desire to play alongside elite talent. The deep dive. Here is my take on this situation. Morgan Rogers is not just a luxury signing. He is a tactical necessity designed to create extreme cognitive dissonance for opposing managers. Valued at over £80 million, Rogers thrives in the half spaces, the exact zones where Arsenal look to overload opposition defences. The dual dilemma Rogers presents is a nightmare for defenders. Do you step out to press him and risk letting him slip a pass into the overlapping wingers, or do you drop off and allow him to use his frame and carrying power to drive straight into the penalty box? The media noise portrays this as an excess of riches for a champion side, but in reality, Rogers provides the physical profile and technical security that Arsenal lacked in their narrowest defeats last season. However, dealing with a stubborn Aston Villa and a hovering Paris Saint-Germain is an elite chess match, forcing Arsenal's recruitment team to activate a magnificent fallback plan that nobody saw coming. The source and fact, Sunsport and Daily Post, have revealed that Arsenal have formally added Nottingham Forest captain Morgan Gibbs-White to their transfer shortlist as the definitive high-quality alternative should the Rogers deal stall.